Hey, this is Oscar, the super user, and today we're going to learn how to install Star Citizen on Linux. Now, this guide is mainly intended for distributions which are up to date, such as Arch Linux, Fedora, EndeavourOS, CachyOS, OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. You could try with other distros, with LTS distros such as Pop! OS or Mint or Ubuntu LTS, but it's not guaranteed to work. Okay. If you're going to be playing Star Citizen, it is recommended that you use a very up-to-date distribution, either a rolling release or a very up-to-date distro such as Fedora. That being said, let's head into operator mode and see how to actually install the game. Right, so I want you to go over to wiki.starcitizen-lug.org, and this will take you to the Star Citizen Linux Users Group Wiki, which is a community wiki done by the Linux community in Star Citizen, which is a fantastic resource on how to get the game running on our operating system of choice. And also little tips and tricks on how to get sticks and the performance and all that working properly inside of Linux. Today we're just going to focus on the installation, but I do encourage you to bookmark this website or come back later and check some things out here, because you can even set up head tracking among other things, right? You could even join the Star Citizen org that they have, join their Discord, and even their matrix space. Right, so we're going to head into the quick start guide, and here we're going to, just in case, check the recommended distributions. All right, and as I told you at the beginning, we really want to have a up-to-date distro. Aside from the ones I mentioned, you can also use Ubuntu if you're using one of their interim releases, like the latest release that has the latest packages, and even Debian testing. Okay, but all of these ones down here, they're not recommended. All right. So it's up to you to see how you would get them running up. You could try. You never know if they would work, but it's recommended that you use an up-to-date one, right? So that being said, we're going to head back and we're going to check the prerequisites. Now, we want to make sure that our system has cab extract and unzip installed. Now, basically, most distros already come with these things already installed. Even if you're an Arch Linux, I'm not sure if they come installed. I don't think unzip comes installed, but if you've been using your Arch Linux system already for a while, it's probably a dependency for something else, and you probably already have it. But it's always good to check if you want to check with your package manager, see if you can download these packages and see if they're already installed, right? Another prerequisite, which applies to any version of the game, be it Windows or be it Linux, is that you really want to install it on an SSD. Those spinning hard drives don't cut it anymore for Star Citizen. So, yeah, you better have an SSD ready to play the game. I imagine that if you already played the game on Windows, you already know these tips. Right, so let's go to the actual installation, and what we're going to do here, we're going to download the LUG Helper, which is a tool that does everything for you, basically. What we want to do is click here so we can check the distro packages, and this will take us to the project's GitHub. You can see that we got an Arch Linux AUR package, we've got a NixOS package, and even a Fedora Copper package that you could use if you want to. But honestly, today we're just going to do it the standard way, which is git cloning the GitHub, because that works for any distribution. So we're going to scroll all the way up, and we're going to click on this big code button and press this copy URL to clipboard button. And now what we're going to do is open a terminal. So I open a terminal here, and let me just zoom in so you can see what's going on. And we're going to git clone this repo. So we're going to git clone, and now we shift control V to paste the URL that we just copied, and we're going to hit enter. This is going to clone the GitHub repository into our home directory. If I do an ls, I can see that we now have a folder called LUG Helper. We actually would go inside of there. We're going to go into cd LUG-helper, and this is going to cd for change directory. We're going to go inside the LUG Helper, and we're going to ls to list everything inside. And we got something called lug-helper.sh. That's a script that we want to run, and it's going to execute the tool to help us install Star Citizen. So to execute the script, what we're going to do is press /, and now we're going to type the name of the script and press enter. And this should bring us this screen. Now, mind you, if you don't want to use a terminal to execute the script, you just have to go over to the folder where you just downloaded the GitHub project. You right-click on the script, you go to Properties, and you make sure that it's set to execute as an executable. Once that is done, you just double-click it and it runs. Okay, like double-clicking a program on Windows. You can do that as well. All right, so with this window here, we want to do something called the pre-flight check. This is a very nice way for the tool to kind of check if your system has the necessary requisites to actually install the game. So we're going to do that. We're going to press OK. And we want to pass all of the checks if we can, right? I have failed one of the checks, which says that your system has 32 gigabytes memory and 4 gigabytes of swap. We recommend at least 8 gigabytes of swap to avoid crashes. This is what I believe one of those optional tests. You really don't need to have 8 gigabytes of swap to actually run the game successfully. You can do that. It's recommended though. I will probably do it at some point. Since I'm on Arch Linux, I do recommend that you go and check the Arch Wiki article on swap and how to increase the swap. But it's not mandatory. Okay. There could be another failed check that you could have, which is vm.max map count is set to a certain number, which has to be this one. In this case, I pass. But most of the cases, it's going to be lower than this number. And it's going to ask you if the tool can fix it for you. You can say yes, and it will change the value for you. And that is an easy way of passing that check. But yeah, despite not passing the swap check, I'm just going to press OK because that's fine with me. All right. You can change that, I insist, whenever you want. Now we're going to head into install Star Citizen. I'm going to press OK. It's going to do the pre-flight check again. We press OK. It's going to tell us if we want to read the wiki. We already read the wiki. Thank you. I'm ready to continue. And now it's going to tell us where we want to install the game. You can install, like, by default in your home directory. And if you press no, it will give you a window where you can select the directory where you want to install the game. I'm going to press yes in this case, default path. And automatically, it's going to download the wine forks, the runners, and even the RSI Launcher executable for you, and just set up everything for you very nicely. Right, so the installation can take a while, but once it's done, you can close the LUG Helper, and you should now have a desktop entry for the RSI Launcher in your system. So in GNOME, I can press super and I type RSI. I got the launcher right there. If you're on KDE Plasma, for example, it should be in your app drawer or app launcher. We're going to execute it right now, and I'll see you once I logged in. So here's the RSI launcher for the game Star Citizen. I've already gone ahead and downloaded the game to the system. It's very important that when you press install, that you leave the default Windows installation path as is. Just remember that that path is not reflected in your system. It's just in the wine prefix. So you don't have to change it, and please don't change it because otherwise things won't work. So just leave it default, install the game where the launcher suggests. And now we're ready to launch. So I'm going to just press launch game. And we're already in the login queue. It's loading the main menu, and here we are inside Star Citizen. Now you can do obviously whatever you need to do, like set up your keybinds, your graphic options, and you can go into the persistent universe or arena commander just like always and just play the game as usual. Right, so I hope that helped. If this method of installing Star Citizen updates in the future, I'll probably do an updated video. All right. But aside from that, it's actually quite easy peasy. But hopefully you have a good experience playing Star Citizen. on Linux. That's it for today for this quick video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. All right. Okay. Cheerio. Bye bye.